There was very little doubt that this would be the result. How is the Kremlin then adjusting to this result? What is the messaging that's coming through? What does it tell us about Putin's aims and goals going forward then, Tony?
Yes, good morning. Well, I mean, it certainly far exceeds anything we've seen in Russia's post-Soviet history, and it puts Putin really in the company of certain Central Asian autocrats in terms of the supposed devotion of his electorate. If you want to put it in context, it's 10 percentage points greater than his last result in 2018, which itself was a record, and the turnout was put at something not seen since 1991, when Boris Yeltsin won the election after the Soviet Union's collapse. So it's a completely different league, and it's intended to convey a message that Putin has a united country behind him. But clearly there are a great deal of doubt. There is a great deal of doubt about some of the results that have been seen in the country.
Well, Tony, just expand on that a little. You're giving us the context in terms of just how significant, or at least the size of this apparent support in that historical context, going all the way back to 1991. To your point, is there any real sense that there's opposition or pushback? What do we glean from what's transpired over the last few days?
Yeah, I mean, I think in many regions, what's called administrative resources were deployed to ensure that, for instance, state workers turned up and voted the right way. And in places like Moscow and St. Petersburg, which historically have been hotbeds of opposition to Putin, there were extremely high votes and turnout in his favour. All of that said, there's very little actual opposition on the ground since the death of Alexei Navalny in prison. Though there were protests at some polling stations yesterday, they were really quite marginal, and opposition to Putin has been effectively suppressed by the Kremlin, which has been cracking down on dissent pretty much throughout the whole war period.
OK. Bloomberg's Tony Halpin, thank you very much indeed on that important story, of course, out of Russia, with the Russian president saying he is committed to pursuing his goals, of course, on the back of that election victory. But, of course, with all the context, it was highly, highly controlled and essentially not in doubt.